Boom! Yes, folks, Hume again. How are you doing? So in this video, we're going to talk about the June 2022 CSEC Maths session for private students, people who are not in school. We have a separate class for private students. We have the adults in their own little zone. All right? And as I said last year, with the adults, we could deal with the adults different to how we would deal with people in school. All right? So let me talk about the price first. The price is 1,000 TT dollars, Trinidad and Tobago currency. All right? 1,000 TT dollars for 4 months, and then 1,000 TT dollars for another 4.5 to 5 months. All right? So the first half is from September to December. $1,000 TT carrying you straight through for the 4 months, from the beginning of September straight to the end of the year. So you make one payment at the beginning, and that carrying you straight through until the end of 2021. And then at the beginning of 2022, you pay our next 1,000 TT again, and that carrying you straight through to the exam. All right. So in the first instance, 1,000 for 4 months, 1,000 divided by 4 is 250, right? And then in the second instance, let me say 1,000 for 5 months. 1,000 divided by 5 is 200, right? 200 a month in the second half, 250 a month in the first half. So you see the breakdown nice, right? The only thing is that we had to pay all up front. Let me get money out of the way early so we don't have that to worry about once we start to work. All right? So we have price out of the way. Let me spend a little time now talking about the actual session itself. All right? So let me start by doing a little retrospective in terms of what happened last year. Right? Last year, we started advertising around the end of August, early September. And we were in the middle of COVID. So there was still that period where we were still figuring out what to do. I had to get some equipment, etc., etc., etc. So we didn't really get going in earnest until the 23rd of October. That was the date of our very first, I would say, proper session with proper equipment and thing. All right, we had some sessions before, but October is when we really got the ball rolling. Right, and we had about 2 to 3 sessions every week, straight through until the exam. All right. Most weeks we had 2 sessions, and then some weeks we had 3 sessions. Right? I think it was Tuesday, Thursday during the week, and then we had a session on Saturday night. All right? So we had a certain rhythm, a certain flow. Right? I took them through all the topics from the beginning of the syllabus. We started with substitution in the algebra. Right? We went back to the question 1. We went through all the factorization and the Pythagoras theorem and all them things. All right? We started kind of late, so we didn't get everything done as much as I would have liked to. Right? This year, however, we have an early start because we had the benefit of last year where we had the little ups and downs at the beginning that everybody had, even teachers in schools. Didn't really get going until October. All right? And we have a 6 to 7 week head start now because we started this session bright and early in the first week in September. All right? Around September the 6th thereabout, that's the first full week in September. All right? September the 1st is Wednesday. I would have loved to start on the 1st of September. But as it is in the middle of the week, I go ease all up. So that little 5 days between the 1st and the 6th, at that point now, we putting people on the website, we talking to people, and we getting in a gear to start bright and early on the 6th of September 2021. All right? What it is we doing and how it is we doing it? First things first, we're not preparing for the January exam. Let me repeat that. We're not preparing for the January exam. In fact, let me talk a little bit about the January exam because apparently it's some kind of cultural thing. It's a kind of reflex action, especially among the people who did the exam the same year. So let me say those who did the exam in July and for some reason they didn't get the result they want. The reflex action is I'm going to do it in January. I'm going to sign up in January. In other words, they want to get it out of the way as soon as possible. As I would tell my students in class, especially the Form 5s, we like to give them little life lessons and things. It is not everything in life that you can get out of the way as soon as possible. Some things take time, and you simply have to spend the time. You simply have to spend the time, so to speak. All right? This matter of the maths exam for CSEC is one of those things. Because most people, the overwhelming majority of people, one, either don't have the time to put in the kind of work that they have to put in to get where they have to get in 4 months. Right? In other words, to pass the exam. Most people don't have that time. And some of the people who have the time don't have the work ethic. Right? Because if you didn't pass the exam in July, maybe you had a 4 or 5, and you want to pass in January, there is plenty of work in a short space of time. Even if you're not doing anything else when they come for them 4 months. We're talking a minimum of 3, 4, 5 hours every day. Right? Of course, they're going to have a little break in between. Right? But it's a different level of time that they had to put if you're doing the exam in them 4 months. Right? Based on my experiences over the years, I'm not even trying to prepare anybody for the January exam. So if you're coming by me, know and understand that we're doing the June exam, not January. If, however, you want to do the January exam and you want to come in my session, no problem at all. Come. You're welcome. Just understand that wherever we reach in December, that is what you'll go in with if you're dealing with my stuff alone in terms of the live sessions and things. But the nice thing about my session is that we have the website. And with the website, you have the option to do extra work, to do more work than we're doing in the live Zoom. So if you really want to do this exam in January and you're really willing to put the time and the effort out, then fall in still. And you could use the website as a backup if you're doing other work, extra work with somebody else. No problem either. Right? But the website is there. And if you want to use the website alone and you don't necessarily want to join the live session, you could do that too. The real thing there. And you now could apportion your time accordingly to do the work as you had to do it. Alright? So I had to spend a lot of time talking about that because a lot of people come with this January. Forget that. We're not doing January exam. Right? What I normally do though, I encourage my students to sign up for the January exam just as a stepping stone, as a milepost along the way. Alright? A kind of dry run then, if you want to call it that. Right? You know a lot of private students, some of them coming in, they tell you, well, I do maths for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Or they'll tell you, I tried and I write it 4 times and so forth and so forth. Right? So with me, you're doing the January exam as a stepping stone. We do a certain amount of preparation. Let me say by the time the January exam reaches, you have the first 2.5 questions out of the way. In terms of, let me say you have the first 3 questions. We cover 3 full questions. Go in with that. See what you could do. See how much you could pick up with the multiple choice. See how we're handling the paper 3, etc., etc. At that halfway point in the year. And then you move forward for June. Alright? One of my best experiences with that system was, I think it was 2018 if I'm not mistaken. Right? One of the guys who was in school and they didn't do the exam. Well, sorry, they didn't pass the exam. They got a 4 and his mommy sent him. And when I saw him working and things, I said, nah, you could get a 1 by June, you know. And we had the thing laid out. I said, all right, the first step is to pass the exam in January. So you could set goals for yourself along the way. Right? So for me, the January exam is about goals and about measuring progress. Right? That is not the final destination. So in his case, he was able to move from a 4 in May to a 3 the following January. So he make one jump up, and that was a lot of work. A lot of work. Right? So I say now that you have the 3 now, you don't have to worry about passing the exam. So let we try and push for that 1 now. And we push and we push and we push, and here we get the 1 in June. Alright? So my approach to January is that January is not the final destination. January is a stepping stone to June. Alright? I spent enough time talking about that. So when you come to ask me about it, I will just send it here to listen to it again. Alright? So that is basically it. You'll be in a very friendly environment. We ain't coming to buff nobody. We ain't coming to embarrass nobody. Encouragement all the way. Nice vibes. We pushing you. Right? Sometimes I might have to pull people in a corner and say, hey, what is the scene? What happening? Talk to them, encourage them, blah, blah, blah. Because you know how it is with private students, adults. The kind of things we have to deal with as adults, the issues that adults have to deal with will be very different to the issues that a 15 or a 16-year-old in Form 5 have to deal with. And that is why we separate the class to begin with. Yeah, mix Form 5s with adults. Alright, that ain't making no sense. So that's basically it. Right? Live Zooms. Website. Alright? Encouragement, support, and yes, love too. Alright? So join the session if you or anybody serious about doing this exam in June 2022. Fall in, contact, message, WhatsApp, Messenger 293-5712, and let me get the show on the road. Boom.